Dalawa na lang estudyante ko.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, sir, nag-PM po ako sa inyo. Ano po, about po sa performance task po. Sir,
Nag-arrive ka ba sa Nag-arrive ka ba sa the same answer? Pag nag-arrive ka sa the same answer, then
opo, yes po.
it's possible na valid yung solution mo. Dito natin i-check yung solution mo sa performance task during your presentation. Ano ba yan? Wala na ba tayong estudyante? Wala na bang classmates? Ang dami naman nung nakasin nung message. 22, 26. Kahit tatatlo lang tayo dito, ano to, tutorial. Sige, Raven, you may now present your performance task. Mapapanood naman nila yan sa recording.
Sige po, wait lang.
Nakulit niya ang report mo no? Support pa ni Duterte yan si Alvarez. Tapos bigla.
Start na po, sir.
Go ahead.
Sige po. Ay, teka lang po, sir. Nag-ano po sa...
Dalawa ba gamit mong ano?
Yes po. Okay, start po. Good morning, everyone. I'm Raven A. Amahit, and I will present my performance task. I chose 2021 math calendar problem number 22 and the featured problem, which is greater 65 raised to 11 or 17 raised to the 17th power. Here's the suggested solution showed in the video using the logarithms. Okay, let A is equal to 65 raised to 11 and B is equal to 17 raised to the 17th power. Getting the logarithm of both sides for the two equations, logarithm of A is equal to logarithm of 65 raised to 11, and logarithm of B is equal to logarithm of 17 raised to the 17th power. Recalling the property of inequality for logarithmic functions, when the base n is greater than 1, the logarithm of a to the base n is greater than the logarithm of b to the base n, if a is greater than b. Also, logarithm of a to the base n is less than the logarithm of b to the base n if a is greater than b. Going back to the solution, the equations will be simplified using the property or rule of logarithm. So logarithm of 65 raised to 11 will become 11 times the logarithm of 65. And logarithm of 17 to the raised to the 17th power will become 17 times the logarithm of 17. Having these two equations, we can simply solve them by using scientific calculator. Inputting the equations, 11 times the logarithm of 65 is approximately 19.9, and 17 times the logarithm of 17 is approximately 20.9. So basically, 17 raised to the 17th power is greater than 65 raised to 11. Again, the featured problem is which is greater, 65 raised to 11 or 17 raised to the 17th power. For the alternative or other solution I found, I cited the video link that I use as the basis for the solution. It is a method that it is the method in which there is no need to use a scientific calculator. Let's start by 65 raised to 11. Um, we're going to use some manipulation to come up with an answer, and now we write base 65 is greater than 64 and have the same exponent 11. I chose 64 po because it is the nearest to 65 that can be written in exact exponential form. Focusing on 64, writing it in an exponential form, it will become 2 raised to 6 and raised to 11 the exponent. And using power rule, it will become 2 to the 66th power. So thus we can write 65 raised to 11 is greater than 2 to the 66th power according to transitive property. Let's just put this inequality aside and now focus on 17 raised to the 17th power. We will just do the same as we did in 65 raised to 11. So we write 17 raised to the 17th power is greater than 16 to the 17th power. Again, focusing on 16, writing it in an exponential form. It will become 2 raised to 4 and the exponent raised to the 17th power. Using the power rule, it will become 2 to the 68th power. And again, according to transitive property, we can write 17 raised to the 17th power is greater than 2 to the 68th power. After having these two inequalities, we can now compare which is greater. First, we will write 17 to the 17th power is greater than 2 to the 68th power. And logically, 2 to the 68th power is greater than 2 to the 66th power. And from this inequality, 2 to the 66th power is greater than 65 raised to 11. Therefore, by using transitive property, we can conclude that 17 raised to the 17th power is greater than 65 raised to 11. That would be all po. Tapos na po, sir.
Okay, very good, no? um, so it's a good thing that Raven did the uh, presentation of the original solution. So, ganun din ang gawin ng iba, no? Give the original suggested solution. That is why when there is a math problem in the channel, ang solution doon nakalagay, suggested solution. No? Kasi we cannot monopolize a solution to a problem. No? Siyempre as a math advocate, no? Hindi natin pwedeng i-monopolize yung knowledge. There are a lot of solutions. And the students can actually, that is the rationale of this activity, no? The students can actually find uh, when they diligently study for it, they can actually find better solutions. No? Kasi kadalasan, in the classroom, what the teacher presents are coming from the books. Okay? So maganda yan. Ganun yung ating pattern. No? Maganda yung ginawa ni Raven. Present the problem, write the give the suggested solution so that classmates will be oriented about the problem. So problem number 22, year 2021 yan, Raven, tama? 2021.
Yes po.
Problem 22 will not be allowed to be used anymore by others, na? Okay? Um naka-record naman to, Raven, di ko pa na ipipresent yung yung rubrics. I will give the grade later, na. Pero it's really a very good one. Okay? Thank you. Anyone else meron pa bang gustong mag-present? Padri, would you like to present it now? O gusto mo pang reviewin?
Sir, actually okay na po siya kasi hindi ko po natapos yung PowerPoint
Presentation.
kasi kala ko po i-check niya po muna.
No, no. Si Raven, nagtanong lang naman yan. Hindi ko naman chinik. Dito natin titignan yung solution. Ah,
Sige po, sir, next week na lang po.
okay. Any other people, students, who would like to present a performance task? None. Okay, so let us proceed. Thank you, Raven. Uh, next week, si Christian. Pero Thursday na tayo next week, ah. Nag-training lang kasi ako sa Comelec. Kaya na-move yung ating klase. Pero kasi once a week lang, kaya hindi natin pwedeng ipagpaliban. And tuloy natin ngayon. Next week, Thursday ulit tayo, Christian, ha? Kung magpe-present ka man. Okay, so prepare your exercise. This is supposed to be exercise number 7 lang, ano? Nagkamali yung numbering ko dun sa previous. Tama ba ako? Sino ba nakakasunod dun sa sa numbering natin? 7 lang dapat to, no? Kasi yung circle, isa lang yung exercises natin dun eh. Magkasama yung Tama ba? O 8 talaga to,
Opo, sir. 7 po talaga, sir. Nagkamali po last week.
Yung circle, isa lang yun eh, no? Yung origin at saka at saka HK. Ano ba eh? Saglit lang may sasagutin lang akong message yan. Yan. Okay. So prepare your exercises on hyperbola with center at HK, and let us check. So still we have two equations for hyperbola, no? Kita ba yung presentation? And malinaw yung audio, everyone?
Opo, sir.
Because the others
Yes, sir.
will just be checking their exercises through this recording. So we still have two equations for hyperbola with center at HK. When the transverse axis is parallel to the x-axis, then the equation is x minus h squared over a squared minus y minus k squared over b squared is equal to 1. And when the transverse axis is parallel to the x-axis, as I mentioned, so when the transverse axis is parallel to the y-axis, we have y minus k squared over a squared minus x minus h squared over b squared is equal to 1. Again, transverse axis is parallel to the y-axis. Okay? So, yun lang naman yung kailangan nating recall dyan. The properties and the graphs were already discussed the last time. Number 1, write the equation of the hyperbola in standard form which satisfies the given condition. May I hear an answer first before we show the solution to this? Anyone? Will you please dictate to me your answer? Is there anyone who has an answer to this one? Meron ba? Yes, Maruska, would you please? Maruska, go ahead.
X minus 1 square
Mhm,
over 1
mhm,
minus y minus 4 squared
mhm.
over 8 is equal to 1.
Okay. Center at 1, 4. So, to identify, just like in circle, parabola, ellipse, you need to identify the important or the variables in the equation to identify the or to write the equation. No? In circle, you need the length of the radius and the coordinates of the center. In the parabola, you need the uh, vertices. No? In ellipse, you need to identify A, B, and also HK. A is the distance from the center to a vertex. B is the distance from the center to a co-vertex. The same thing with hyperbola, you need to identify H, K, A, and B. Okay? Now, in here, it is not mentioned whether the transverse axis is parallel to a coordinate axis. No? You have to deduce that from the given. The center is at 1, 4 and a focus is at negative 2, 4. Okay. Also, a vertex is at 0, 4. Notice that all these points have the same y coordinates, and we know that the center, the focus, or the foci, and the vertices are collinear. And that contains the transverse axis. Na? So if they have the same y coordinates, then it is a horizontal line that contains these points. Then the transverse axis is parallel to the x-axis. Na? So yung form ng equation is correct. Positive yung x group. Now, if the center is at 1, 4, then h equals 1 and k is equal to 4. We know that the distance between the center and the vertex is equal to a. Therefore, a is equal to the absolute value. The distance of 0, 4 and 1, 4 is 0 minus 1, and that is equal to 1. C is the distance between a focus and the center, so we have negative 2 minus 1, and that is equal to 3, absolute value. No? And we know that b squared is equal to c squared minus a squared, then b squared is equal to 9 minus 1, that is equal to 8. Now we have a and b squared. We can write now the equation. So x minus 1 squared over 1 minus y minus 4 squared over 8 is equal to 1. So this answer is correct. Very good. Next, number 2. Can I hear an answer, please, from the group? Yes, Christian.
Um, y minus 3 squared over 1 minus x plus 4 squared over 8 equals 1 po.
Bakit kaya mukhang pareho, no? Tingnan nga natin. Wait lang. This time, it is the x coordinates of these points that are the same. Negative 4, 0, negative 4, 4, negative 4, 2. Okay? So if these have the same x coordinates, then the transverse axis is contained by a line parallel to the y-axis. Correct? It's a vertical line. So, tama yung form ng equation. Tingnan natin. We do not have the center. We have to identify HK. We know that the center is the midpoint of the vertices. So, the midpoint of the vertices will be, center will be at -4 plus -4 divided by 2, and then 4 plus 2 divided by 2, then the center is at -4, 3. Correct? -4, 3. H is equal to -4 and K is equal to 3. Now we know that the distance between the two vertices is equal to 2A, and that is 4 minus 2, or 2 minus 4, absolute value. Correct? So that is 2. Then A equals 1. Now, the distance between the center and a focus is equal to C. Therefore, C is equal to, let us use the center, -4, 3. So that will be 3 minus 0. Correct? 3 minus 0. And that will be 3. Again, B squared is equal to 9 minus 1. That is 8. Pareho nga talaga. No? So y minus 3 squared over 1, because the transverse axis is parallel to the y-axis, minus x minus 4, x minus -4, so magiging x plus 4 over 8, x plus 4 squared over 8 equals 1. So this answer is correct. Very good, Christian. Mabilis lang pala talaga itong exercises na to. Number 3, please. Number 3. Yes, Raven. Answer.
Ano po, sir? Y plus 1 squared
Mm-hmm.
over 9
Mm-hmm.
minus x minus 4 squared over 16 equals 1 po.
Okay, let us see. Center at 4, -1. Therefore, h is equal to 4. K is equal to -1. Transverse axis along the y-axis. Along? Really ba? Dapat to, ano, no? Di napalitan. At least you understood, no? Transverse axis, this should be parallel to the y-axis. Distance between the foci is 10. One endpoint of the conjugate axis is at 6, -1. We know that the distance between the foci is 2c, and that is equal to 10. Therefore, c is equal to 5. The distance between an endpoint of the conjugate axis and the center is equal to b, so that will be b is equal to the absolute value of parallel to the y-axis. 6 minus 4. Tama? 6 minus 4. Therefore, b is equal to 2. And we know that a squared is equal to c squared. That's 25. Wait lang. Bakit yung a squared yan ay naiba? Meron ba akong mali? 2a center for -1, 6 minus 4. Tama naman. 25 minus 4. A squared should be 21. Am I missing something?
Ay, sir, tanong ko lang po, paano po nakuha yung B po?
B is the distance between the center and the conjugate axis.
Sige po.
An endpoint of the conjugate axis is at 6, -1. The center is at 4, -1. So, 6 minus 4. Tama? Okay? Therefore, the equation should be what? Y plus 1 is squared over 21 minus x minus 4 squared over 4, no, that is b, is equal to 1. Meron bang pareho ng sagot na nag-arrive tayo? Is there any question, any reaction to this answer? Hello? Wala naman. So that is the answer. Raven, how did you get 9 and 16?
Ay, yung nagkamali po ako sa B po, sir. Ginawa ko po kasi pinlat ko po sila. Then, binilang ko lang po yung distance. De bali po 4 po yung B ko.
Okay. Yung 4, distance between ano yon? Between the two endpoints of the conjugate axis. Diba? Dapat,
Sige.
dapat bilang from the center to the endpoint. Okay. Next. Now we are given the equation. We are to identify the properties. Huh? The center is easily identified. For number 4, the center is at negative 3. Tama? Negative 3, 2. And then for the other properties, you need to identify the values of A, B, and C. In here, A squared is 25, therefore A is equal to 5. B squared is equal to 9, then B is equal to 3. So C squared is equal to 25 minus 9. Oh no, 25 plus 9. C squared is equal to 34. Then C is equal to square root of 34. Okay? Then we can identify the vertices. We know that the positive term here is x plus 3 squared over 25. Then the transverse axis is parallel to the x-axis. Okay? So the vertices will move the coordinates of the center will move 5 units to the left and 5 units to the right. Correct? So we have negative 8, 2, the other one, 2, 2. So that the transverse axis is 10 units long. Wait lang. Move natin. Dapat mag-space ako. Ayan. Ayan. Okay. Kulang ako ng space. Malaki kapag sulat kamay. Okay. So the distance between the vertices will be the transverse axis 2 minus negative 8, that is 10. Or we can just look at A is equal to 5. 2A is equal to 10. The conjugate axis is twice B, so that is 6. Okay. The foci will move square root of 34 units to the left. Will move the center, the coordinates of the center. The square root of 34 units to the left and square root of 34 units to the right. No? The foci are interior to the branches of the hyperbola. So that means we have negative 3 minus square root of 34, 2. The other one, negative 3 plus square root of 34, 2. Huwag nyo na i-decimal yan. No? The LR is still, just like the ellipse, 2b squared over a, so that will be 18 over 5. Okay? If the transverse axis is parallel to the x-axis, the ends of LR must have the same x coordinates as the foci. So, dito tayo sa left branch ng hyperbola. Dapat yung dalawang ends of LR will have the same x coordinates as the foci. So we have negative 3 minus square root of 34. And then it will move the coordinates of the focus b squared over a units up and b squared over a units down. So if the y coordinate of this point is 2, then we'll have 2 plus 9 over 5. What is that? 2 plus 9 over 5. 19 over 5. Is that it? Tama ba? Hello, will you please look at your answer? And then also, negative 3 minus square root of 34. 2 minus 9 over 5. Ilan yan? 2 minus 9 over 5. That is 1 over 5. Okay? Comma, 1 over 5. Okay. Ano yung nangyari lang? Yun. So, makikita ninyo, the distance between these 2 points will be 18 over 5. Yan, LR. No? Pareho sila ng x-coordinate. The distance will be the difference, absolute value of the difference between the y-coordinates. 19 over 5 minus 1 over 5 is 18 over 5. Next, the other two endpoints will have the same x-coordinates as the other focus. No? That is the right branch, as we call it, of the hyperbola. So that will be negative 3 plus the square root of 34, comma, 19 over 5. The other one, negative 3 plus the square root of 34, comma, 1 over 5. Check your work. Equation of the asymptote. Look at this technique for the equation of the asymptote, class. If you forgot the formula. By the way, let us use the formula muna. May I give an answer for the equation of the asymptote? If it's parallel to the x-axis, the slope must be what? The slope must be b over a, tama? Okay? Sige nga, patingin ko nga ng equation. Huwag nyo na i-simplify. Yes, Raven, ano equation mo?
Y minus 2
Y minus 2 equals
equals positive negative 3 over 5
this is b over a, correct? Times
quantity x
x
plus 3 po.
x plus 3. Okay, very good. Look at this method, no? If you forgot about the equation of the asymptote. The left-hand side of the equation is a difference of two squares, correct? Tama? Tingnan natin, no? Tingnan nyo itong idea about the equation of the asymptote. Ano nga yan? X plus 3 is squared over 25 minus y minus 2 squared over 9 is equal to 1. Pero, this is looking for the equation of the asymptotes. Gawin ninyong 0 yan. And then, you have a difference of two squares here. Huh? A squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b times a minus b, correct? So, if the equation is of this form now, gawin nyo 0 yan. I-factor natin yan, magiging x plus 3 over 5 plus y minus 2 over 3 times x plus 3 over 5 minus y minus 2 over 3 equals 0. O, factored form yan, pwedeng i-equate both sides or both factors, to 0. O, let's use this one. Kapag ginawa natin itong equal to 0, magiging x plus 3 over 5 plus y minus 2 over 3 equals 0, magiging x plus 3 over 5 equals negative of y minus 2 over 3. Tama? And then, Isolate natin yung y minus 2. Multiply natin both sides by negative 3. Naging negative 3 over 5 times x plus 3. That is one of the equations of the asymptote. Or if you would like to simplify, move nyo lang yung plus 2. Add 2 to both sides. Magiging plus 2 lang dun sa kaliwa. Katulad din nito. Magiging y is equal to positive negative 3 over 5 quantity x plus 3 plus 2. No? Ganun lang din. And then the other part of the other factor, we have x plus 3 over 5 minus y minus 2 over 3 equals 0. But sinulat ko pa ng buo. Magiging equals na yan. No? Pagka nag-add ng y minus 2 over 3 sa both sides, naging equals na yan. And then isolate uli yung y minus 2. Then that will be 3 over 5, the positive equation naman, times the quantity x plus 3. Ayun na yung dalawang equation ni asymptote. Difference of 2 squares lang siya. This is an alternative if, minsan kasi yung equation of the asymptote is a little easy to fly away sa memory natin. No? Any question about the equation of the asymptote? Technique yan. Next, dito tayo sa number 5. Before we can identify the properties, we need to rewrite the equation in standard form. Okay? So, i-group natin yung y terms, y squared minus 2y. Meron na tayong plus 1, perfect square trinomial na yan. How about yung x squared? Minus 4 times the quantity x squared plus 4x equals 0. Tama ba ginawa ko? Okay. And then, completing the square, we need plus 4 here. Tama? So that means we subtracted, what is this? 16 to the equation. Tama, no? We subtracted 16 to the equation. So, minus 16. Correct? Okay. And then we divide both sides by negative 16. What will happen? Teka lang, factor muna natin. Negative 16 yun na. So this is y minus 1 squared, no? Minus 4 times x plus 2 squared plus 2 squared is equal to negative 16. Divide all terms by negative 16 so that the right-hand side will be equal to 1. Then, itong magiging positive. X plus 2 squared over 4 minus y minus 1 squared over 60 is equal to 1. Did you get the same, class? Sino sagot dito? Nag-16 siya, no? So, the center, therefore, move lang natin, So the transverse axis is still parallel to the x-axis. The center is at negative 2, 1. A squared is equal to 4. A equals 2. B squared is 16. B is equal to 4. And C squared is equal to 20. Then C is equal to 2 square root of 5. That's 4 times 5, no? Okay. So the vertices will be, kailangan natin itong i-cut. Para kita natin yan, no? So the vertices will be at 2 units to the left of negative 2, 1 and 2 units to the right. Okay, so that will be negative 4, 1, and 0, 1. Transverse axis is 4. And then the conjugate axis is 8. It's possible, no? Mas malaki yun. The foci will be 2 square root of 5 units to the left of negative 2, 1, and 2 square root of 5 units to the right of negative 2, 1. So that will be negative 2 minus 2 square root of 5, 1. The other one, negative 2 plus 2 square root of 5, 1. The LR is 2b squared over a. That is 32 over 2. Ilan yan? 16 units. Again, the ends of LR will have the same x coordinates as the foci. Negative, oops, but merong comma. Negative 2 minus 2 square root of 5. 1 plus 8 b squared. Yeah, b squared over a. So 1 plus 8, that will be 9. The other one, negative 2 minus 2 square root of 5. 1 minus 8, negative 7. The right branch will have negative 2 plus 2 square root of 5, 9. And then negative 2 plus 2 square root of 5, negative 7. Equation of the asymptotes will be y minus 1 is equal to positive negative, ano tayo? 2 times the quantity x plus 2. Any question, class? Hello? Check your work if you do not have question. May question ba? Wala naman? Sige. Anong number na tayo? Number 6, last na to. Can anyone please dictate to me the answers? Pareho lang ba? Parang pareho. Iba. Anyone please dictate to me the answers? Wait lang. Pala. Mumove ko lang ha. Mumove ko lang. Yeah, Christian. Dictate me yung answers mo. Enter.
Negative 3 and negative 2 po.
Okay, vertices.
Negative 3 minus square root of 3 and negative 2 po.
Okay.
Next po, negative 3 plus square root of 3 and negative 2 po. Tapos
Gagaling
sa
pa rin sa x-axis. Sige.
2 square root of 3 po.
Okay.
4 square root of 3 po.
Next.
Negative 3 minus square root of 15 and negative 2 po.
Negative
Tapos
3.
negative 3 plus square root of 15 and negative 2 po. Tapos yung
Okay.
LR po, 8 square root of 3.
Saglit lang. Yung foci. Ulit. Ulit sa foci.
Negative 3 minus square root of 15 and negative 2 po.
Okay. Sige.
Tapos yung next parenthesis po, negative 3 plus square root of 15 and negative 2 po.
Okay.
Tap. Negative 3 minus square root of 15, negative 2 plus 4 square root of 3.
Okay.
negative 3 minus square root of 15, negative 2, negative 4 square root of 3,
Okay.
negative 3 plus square root of 15, negative 2 plus 4 square root of 3.
Okay. So, negative 3 plus the square root of 50, negative 2 minus 4 square root of 3 yung isa.
Yes
Tama?
po.
Equation of the asymptotes.
Sir, ano po, may isa pa po.
Hmm.
Bali up.
Hmm.
Negative 3 plus square root of 15, negative 2, negative 4 square root of 3.
Okay. Equation of the asymptotes.
Y plus 2 equals positive negative 2 x plus 3.
Check natin. No? So, in here, we have 4x squared. Then we'll have 4 times the quantity x squared plus 6x. And then we have minus y squared minus 4y equals negative 28. Tama? So this will be plus 9, then plus 36. Plus 4, then this is minus 4. Okay? So we have 4 quantity do sa equation natin. X plus 3 squared minus y minus 2 squared equals 4. Okay? Divide all terms by 4. We'll have x plus 3 squared over 1 minus y minus 2 squared over 4 is equal to 1. Tama? Then we have hk at negative 3, 2. O, dapat ano yan? Positive 2. Kapag ginroup mo to, tignan nyo to na. Ayusin natin yung pag-group. Pag ginroup mo to, magiging 4x squared plus 24x. Tapos minus y squared plus 4y equals negative 28. Tama? Now, pag nilabas mo yung negative doon, dito lalabas mo yung 4. E di magiging x squared plus 6x. Mag-iwan tayo ng space doon para sa completing the square. Ito, pag nilabas mo yung negative dyan, magiging negative of y squared minus 4y. Okay? So, minus dapat yon, no? Tapos, mag-iwan ka ng space equals negative 28. Now, completing the square, do sa x group, magiging plus 9. Nag-add tayo ng 36 plus 36. Dito naman, completing the square, nag-add tayo ng 4. Actually, nag-subtract tayo ng 4. Minus 4 yon. So, do sa right side, minus 4 din. Negative 28 minus 4 is negative 32 plus 36. That's positive 4. So, ito na yung naging equation natin. Parallel pa rin sa x-axis. Ba't gano'n? Puro gano'n yung equation. Okay. Dinivide sa 4, naging y minus 2 squared. So, that means, let's do the necessary correction. Dapat, kung ito na yung equation natin, ang center is at negative 3, positive 2. Okay? Negative 3, positive 2 dapat. A squared is equal to 1. A equals 1. B squared is equal to 4. B equals 2. And C squared is equal to 5. Therefore, C is square root of 5. Square root of 5 lang, no? Therefore, yung transverse axis natin dapat 2A lang. It should be the distance between the two vertices, or the two vertices. It should be 2. No? Okay? Correction tayo So, dapat yung vertices, kung parallel sa x-axis, mag-move ng, yung center mag-move ng a units to the left at saka a units to the right. Negative 3 plus 1 saka negative 3 minus 1. I mean, negative 3 minus 1 at saka negative 3 plus 1. So, the vertices supposed to be negative 4, 2. At saka negative 2, 2. Ito dapat yung vertices. So that the transverse axis is equal to 2 units. And the conjugate axis must be equal to 4 units. Do your necessary correction. The foci will be square root of 5 units away from the center, no? To the left and to the right. So, dapat yung foci should only be negative 3 minus square root of 5 lang. Negative 3 minus square root of 5, 2. And negative 3 plus square root of 5, 2. Ito dapat yung foci natin. The LR is 2b squared over a. 2b squared over a, that is 8 over 1. And that is equal to 8 units lang. Huh? Now, the ends of LR must have the same x coordinates as the focus. Puro ganun So, dapat ito, nasaan? Dapat nasa negative 3 minus square root of 5, tapos 2 plus b squared over a, pataas. b squared over a is 4. So, magiging 2 plus 4, 2 plus 4 is 6, dapat. Tapos yung isa, negative 3 minus square root of 5, 2 minus 4 is negative 2. So, makikita nyo yung distance between the two ends of LR, that is equal to 8 units. That is absolute value of 6 minus negative 2. And then the other branch will have negative 3 plus square root of 5, 6. Negative 3 minus square root of 5, negative 2. Okay? And then, the equation of the asymptote should be y minus 2. Tama? Y minus 2 is equal to positive negative 2 x plus 3. It should be y minus 2. Okay. Okay, do necessary corrections, everyone. 8:56. Ibig sabihin, next week, kaya natin dalawang performance task. Do you have any question? Hello? Question? May kausap pa ba ako? 12 people?
Sir, none
Yes.
po.
Okay. So, if there's no more question, hindi ako nakapag-check ng Google Classroom this week. Naging busy ako, kaya mapapansin niyo walang changes dun sa checking ng Google Classroom. Nag-training ako sa Comelec. Siguro this week, the following week, next week, makakapag-check na ulit ako, no? Para pagdating ng end ng quarter, hindi ako nagka-cramp. Ha? Sana next week the others will be ready for their performance task, no? Marami kayo para mas mabilis tayong mas smooth yung ating grading. So, kung wala nang question, pwede na to. Dismiss na tayo. Thank you for attending the online class. God bless all of you. Goodbye.
Thank you po, sir. Bye po.
Bye, sir. Thank you po.
Bibilis